Cucumber pasta salad, fresh, creamy, and perfect for summer. Hey friends, welcome back to Healthy in Heart. Today I'm sharing one of my absolute favorite summer dishes, cucumber pasta salad. It's crunchy, it's creamy, it's colorful, and it's packed with fresh vegetables. Whether you need a crowd pleaser for your next picnic or a make-ahead lunch, this one is a winner. What makes this cucumber pasta salad so special? First, it's naturally gluten-free thanks to the brown rice pasta. It is also dairy-free, and it's filled with fresh, wholesome ingredients that make it both satisfying and nourishing. Let's talk about what goes into this delicious dish. Cucumbers, which are refreshing, crisp, and hydrating. Celery hearts, which are mild and crunchy with a subtle sweetness. 2 kinds of onions, red and garden, for flavor depth and texture. Bell peppers, if you can have them, which are sweet and colorful and add crunch and vitamin C. Grape tomatoes, which are juicy pops of color. Peas and corn, also for pops of color. The brown rice pasta, which is hearty and gluten-free. Shredded cheese, which is creamy richness, even while being dairy-free. And then we finish it off with a creamy dill dressing made from tofu mayo, yogurt, and fresh dill. It is light, tangy, and ties everything together. So let's go make this salad. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn our pot on, which I've just done, and get our water heating for our pasta. And while it's heating, we're going to be chopping some vegetables. I find it helps to have like a bowl near me where I'm chopping the vegetables to just throw the scraps in, so I'm not like running across the kitchen to throw them in the trash. But that's just me. When you're getting ready to do your onions, you want to peel the top 2 layers off, because those top 2 layers are slick and your knife will slip on them. That was a tip I learned from Chef Bravo. And you can use those in soup stock, veggie broth. You can chop them up carefully and dehydrate them to make onion powder. I mean, you don't have to throw them away. Well, that one had a very hard interior. So we're just getting rid of all those pieces. And this is a stout onion, so you might hear me start sniffing. So there's our red onion. Now the recipe calls for 1 red bell pepper and 1 orange bell pepper. I can't eat bell peppers, so those are not going in the recipe for me, but they can for you. They are marked as optional on the recipe. I'm adding my carrots, which is a full bag of 10-ounce shredded carrots. What was I saying? Oh, they're listed as optional on the recipe, but which means they're not included in the nutritional count. but they add like 94 calories to the whole dish, so it's not significant calorie wise. It does add a lot of vitamin C, so that's a good thing. The onions got me. And cucumber salad isn't cucumber salad without the cucumber. So we are dicing the cucumber up this time. In the photos, I have the cucumber sliced and halved, but my daughter is special needs and she has difficulty chewing it, so I try to dice everything small for her. But you can chop them however you want to, because you're making yours, I'm making mine. It's the great thing about customizing recipes yourself. I look at recipes as just like a suggestion because I frequently change them. I have a hard time sticking to a recipe, even one that I've made myself. You got to be careful with the cucumbers too, because they will slide on you as well. Now I could use my dash mandolin to slice these, and I could actually get them a lot smaller than this, but because I want it to last for 4 days, I don't. I want them a little larger, the pieces of food, because more surface area equals faster decomp. This recipe is actually, it makes a lot, so I'm making it for me and Kelsey for our lunches this week, but it would be perfect to take in a summer picnic or just a get together where you have a lot of people, because it's works as a really great side dish or as a main dish, which is what we are eating as. And I love dishes that are complete, like has all the vegetables, has all the proteins and nutrients in it. So if we wanted to make this a complete meal, you could, well actually, I'm using tofu in the mayonnaise. So this is a complete meal. And it also has peas in it, so it has protein from that. And then the grains in the pasta make up the other missing proteins. But you could also add beans to this if you wanted to, or even lentils. You could customize it any way you want. If there are vegetables that you like or that you don't like, you can leave those out. Like my husband is making pasta salad for his lunch this week also. And he doesn't like cucumbers and he doesn't like celery, which this recipe calls for, so he's just leaving those out. And he is replacing it with broccoli. But he never thought he would do that. When he was young, he used to joke that the only green food he ate was green Jell-O.
Green beans.
And green beans. And now he voluntarily eats broccoli, but only raw. He doesn't like it cooked. And you see this celery has the leaves on it. The leaves are edible as well. So I'm just going to put those right in there. And the recipe calls for 8 medium stalks, and this had like 9 stalks, so I'm just using the whole thing. And you can cut the root off of this and put it in your veggie stock. You could also, if you don't want to eat the leaves of the celery, you could also put those in your veggie stock, veggie broth. And when you make veggie broth, add spices because it just adds more flavor to the veggie broth. So we are using 2 different kinds of onions. We use the red onion, and we are also using garden onions or green onions, however you want to, whatever name you use them, call them by. They're the same thing. But it adds depth of texture and color and depth of flavor as well. You could also use yellow onions or white onions in here if you wanted to. I like the red onions because it provides anthocyanins. Anything deep red, purple, blue has anthocyanins in it, and those are really good for you. By the way, these onions, if you cut them off right here, you can actually put these in the ground and they will grow you another stem. So you can buy the onions once and use them multiple times. You can also put those onion tops into your stock pot as well to make your veggie broth. The bits you cut off of carrot ends, those can be put in veggie stock as well. So you can use your scraps to create something that you will use. So the recipe calls for 1 cup of frozen peas, 1 1/3 cup of corn, and these are like 2 cups. I'm just going to go ahead and pour them all in there. You can use white corn or the yellow corn. Used white corn last week, and this week I'm using yellow corn because that's what I have on hand. And our water has started boiling. And we are adding in a box of pasta. And these used to come in larger packages, so I'm having to use 2 packs of pasta. And we're going to just give this a stir. We're going to put the lid back on and let it come back to a boil. And we resume chopping our vegetables. Make sure you read the packages for your pasta because different pastas require different cooking times. Some of them are done in 9 minutes, some of them are al dente in 11 minutes, some are al dente in 13 to 14 minutes, which is what these are. So just make sure you read your instructions. And the tomatoes, I'm just slicing in half. Get a tomato knife. I did wash the tomatoes while they were still in the vine though. And just in case you didn't know, there is such a thing as a tomato knife. As you can see, it has the grooves, which actually cuts into the skin a little bit better. Because as you saw, if you saw, I was using this knife to cut it and just like, it just slid along the skin, didn't slice into it at all. So that's why we use our tomato knives. And our pasta is starting to boil over, so we take the lid off. Turn the temperature down on the oven on the stove to about 6 or 7 midway and time it for 13 minutes. And we're going to give it another stir just to make sure that the noodles don't stick to each other. Now when this is done, when I have all the vegetables cut in here, I'm going to have to stir this in together, split it in two, because obviously by the time I get the tomatoes on here, the pasta is not going to go in this bowl. And this is a very big bowl. And I had to do that last time I made it because, if you cook once, you can eat for many days if you cook in bulk. And I like to do that because I don't have time to sit and stand in the kitchen over a hot stove many hours every single day. Maybe you do, and if you do, God bless you. I'm really hopeful that I'm still able to eat the tomatoes. I mean, I have been eating them off and on for the last couple weeks, but not in large quantities, and I haven't had a worsening of the eczema. So that makes me think maybe I'll get a pass on the tomatoes, which is my favorite vegetable. Oh, some of those are big. I'll just cut those in quarters. And that is all the chopping we're doing today. Let me get my counter cleaned off and I will show you how I mix this. Okay, so it's really good to have a bowl that is the exact, or two bowls that are the exact same size, because when you have a large recipe like this, you can shake to mix, baby. Shake to mix. Voila! And now I will use this other bowl that I just dirtied to verifying that everything is mixed in well. Looks good to me. So I'm going to split this in half. Now, when you use rice pasta, and it may be the same with gluten pasta as well, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've used gluten pasta because I only use whole grain pasta. And that I actually have to order from Azure Standard. That looks about half of it. I'm going to need that later. Now we're going to add our cheese. And I'm deviating from the recipe here because I split the recipe in half. And I'm using 2 bags of cheese because my daughter likes hers extra cheesy. So we like to keep everyone happy. And as you can see, even with that much cheese, you're not getting a lot per serving. So and if you don't like cheese, like I said, you could just leave it out completely. That is absolutely fine. So now I'm going to get the ingredients ready for the mayonnaise while the pasta is the dressing while the pasta is still cooking. So I have 2 minutes left. You can have a sandwich to the meats. There's our pasta. It's almost done. So it is done. Now I'm turning the eye off and turn the timer off. And now I'm going to take this over there. I'm going to drain it and I'm going to rinse it off with cold water to stop the pasta from cooking. And then we'll split it between the bowls. Keep that off the eye. Alright, so now I'm just going to split the pasta. And as you can see, these recipes are very vegetable heavy, which is just the way I like it. What I was trying to say earlier, and I forgot, I got distracted, is that the brown rice pasta, you do not want to store it with the sauce or your dressing in the pasta because the pasta will suck up all the moisture in the salad or pasta dish, whatever you're making. It will suck up all the moisture. And that would make for a very dry pasta. And nobody likes a dry pasta. Alright, so now I'm just going to pull that away, back away from the heat. But that is a good looking pasta, is it not? And so now I'm going to put these in my storage containers that I'm going to put in the fridge. And when I was counting out the serving sizes to this, I actually counted the number of level scoops. And that's how I will serve it, is by the number of level scoops. But for the nutrition information, it is written based on weight, because scales are always more accurate than spoons. Just saying. This is a gigantic storage bowl. I will link this storage bowl below in the description in case you want to get one. It holds a lot of food. I will also link these bowls below in the description, these large bowls that I have. I have 2 sets. One that I bought 2 of these as a set, and then one that is different size but also very large, which we have actually had all of them full. And I love this bowl because it does have a seal in here, so it keeps all of the goodness in, and all of the, well, there's nothing bad in my fridge, but if it had anything bad in it, we would keep it out. And look at that. It is huge. And it's also very heavy, just FYI. It is also very heavy. These bowls right here, storage containers over here, are I believe they're Razab brand, and I bought them at Big Lots, I believe, and I have not been able to find them since because I've had 2 of them bite the dust. One bad thing about working with glasses, sometimes it does break. So you have to be careful, use extra care, but at least you know it's safe. You don't have to worry about chemicals leaching into your food while it's being stored in the fridge or anything like that. Yeah, don't tap on the top of your glass. I catch myself doing that from time to time, and that is how we broke one. And I like to clean as you go. If you haven't watched me very much and you don't know that, that's what I'm doing. It's already bothering me that the dishes are in the sink waiting. So now we are going to make the dressing. So we start with our mayo recipe, which I don't have any mayonnaise made up. So you get to watch me make it. The recipe will be linked below in the description. It is on my website also, just in case I forget, because sometimes I forget to link stuff. But it is super simple, and it tastes like mayonnaise. And it has the creamy mouthfeel without the oily heaviness. Okay, so these are extra firm Morinu silken tofu that are shelf stable. These are called Z-packs. And you can actually buy your tomatoes. The safest way to use tomatoes are if it's been stored in glass jars or in Z-packs, because most of the cans, unless it says BPA free, have BPA in them, and that's a no bueno for your health. And why they're in the metal cans is because it's a coating, it's a plastic coating to protect the can from the acid. But what's going to protect you from the plastic? I'm just saying. Okay, so it calls for 2 tablespoons of mustard, because I'm making a double batch. Two sloshes of vinegar. Oh, that's so funny. Each recipe calls for like a 1/4 teaspoon of black salt, kala namak salt, which is what gives it the eggy taste. I know, shocking there. That the eggs actually, and that's about 2 tablespoons of onion powder, and about 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of salt. It's optional, you don't have to use it, because you also do have the black salt in there, which is not as salty tasting as the pink Himalayan salt. And the next ingredient that is important in mayo is peppercorns. I have the multicolored peppercorns. I'm just going to use about a tablespoon. A tablespoon equals about a teaspoon in ground. Also, if you don't want the black or the multicolored flakes in your mayonnaise, you will want to use the white peppercorns, which are hotter, so you might want to reduce the, or they're spicier, so you might want to reduce the amount. And so now we're just going to blend that up. I'm going to have to blend this again because my garlic powder and onion powder stuck to the sides. And if you watched, I was being very careful to keep the tovolo away from the blades. By the way, this is an excellent tool for using with the blender, because
this end of it is really good for scraping it out. So now I'm going to blend this back again. So that makes 2 cups of mayonnaise. Now, our recipe also calls for 2 cups of yogurt. So I have my homemade yogurt here. And I'm going to add in 1 cup. And 2 cups. I'm going to pour a little bit of that whey in there, because this dressing may thicken up. It usually does. And to thin it, if it does thicken up and you need to thin it, I use, it also calls for a little seasoned vinegar, but I will use seasoned vinegar to in the jar to water it down. And I also use Sicilian lemon from Devolio. It is vinegar that is naturally sweeter. So it gives it a little sweet taste. I also, where did I put it? Need some dill weed. And it calls for 1 tablespoon. You can put more in there if you like a more dilly flavor, but I think 1 tablespoon is plenty. And now we're just gonna blend this up. I could live without this blender. I will link this blender down below in the description as well. But I really would not want to. I could if I had to, but I really would not want to live without it. All right, so now we're just going to pour this in there. I don't need to taste it because I know it's perfect. I hope my elbow is not blocking the view, but then the blender is, so sorry about that. I have tight workspaces here, so we just make do with what we've got. Oh, that is delicious. And the longer it sits, the more the dill is going to flavor the sauce, the dressing. So that made 1 3/4 of a quart of dressing, which would be enough to coat this whole salad. If you wanted to serve the whole salad all at once, if you're like doing a picnic or something. But if you are going to be using it over a course of days and you're not going to be using all of it at once, then you will want to have your dressing separate and then put it on there as you're getting ready to use it. I had another tip in mind. I forgot. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this recipe. If you give it a try, if you do, leave me a comment below in the description and let me know, or on the website, and let me know what you think of it. Also, you can rate my recipes on the website, and I would appreciate it if you did that. Thank you so much.
This salad is so easy to put together. Just cook your pasta, chop your vegetables, mix up your dressing, and combine it all. Let it chill a bit for those flavors to melt. It gets even better the next day. But remember, if you're serving it the next day, keep your pasta and your dressing separate, because the brown rice is thirsty and it will suck up all the moisture from the dressing, and then you'll have a dry pasta. You don't want that. But you can serve it at a barbecue, pack it for lunch, or meal prep it for the week, which is what we both do. My husband is eating that this week, and me and my daughter are eating it also, different versions. It's a great way to eat more plants without sacrificing flavor. I hope you give this cucumber pasta salad a try. Let me know in the comments how you like it or how you make it your own. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more healthy recipes and wellness tips. See you next time on Healthy in Heart, and until next time, stay healthy in heart.